exists. Absolutely it does. But to say that the nation as a whole or the world as a whole, every female is a victim the minute they come out into the world with women, that they're a victim. Mm-hmm. That now our whole life is fighting to keep up with men. And I don't think that's true. I think we are born the way God intended us, free to make our own decisions. We are made to create humans and consider that a blessing, not a burden. When we talk about women going into the workforce and being paid a little bit less, potentially because they're off more because they're having a baby, well, they're choosing to have a baby. That's a beautiful thing. You don't say, I really want to start a family, but darn it, I demand reparations for the entire situation. I want to get paid the entire time I'm pregnant. I want to get paid the entire time I'm off. Why wouldn't women all over the world then just get knocked up at work so they could just get free pay while having a kid? That's the foster system.
So funny. So funny because, that you're right. It's they demoralize the idea of motherhood. Mm-hmm. They demoralize the idea of even, I think there was this article and it was at, I'm trying to remember, big university, Ivy League. Oh, can't remember. It was about how women, Princeton, I believe, there was an article that came out about women meeting their husband at college and they just got hammered. I know. Have you heard of this?
No.
Okay. So, I should have wrote that down. But basically, it was the idea that how dare you come to college to think that this is just a place to meet your husband? I mean, you're going to meet the person you spend your life with probably at school or at work or in common ground. Why not somewhere where you're studying the same thing? You have like-minded, friendships. I mean, now it's all built around a liberal mindset. 24/7, agree with us or you don't get it. Agree with us or you are all of the most degrading words that can come to mind. And I think if feminism is to empower women, it's definitely not empowering all women. I know it's not empowering conservative women.
Yep.
It's shutting conservative women down all the time. And you look at the whole world as a whole. America is the place where women have freedom to vote, freedom to show our faces, freedom to say no to sex instead of being sex slaves all the time whenever somebody wants to use and abuse us. We have so much power and authority. And I think that this lie that if we're not just like a man, working like a man, going to school like a man, making the same money as the man, leaving the kids with a nanny like a man, all of the things, then we are less than.
Okay, you made an excellent point about something that wasn't even on my radar, and it's a little bit off topic, but you said the power to say no to sex, the power to refrain from sex, et cetera, et cetera. We're seeing a feminist movement. We've been seeing it for 10 or more years where, this is going to get a little bit provocative, but women now claim to be as free in their sex choices as men, and it's empowering. Okay, no more slut shaming. I am embracing my sexuality. I'm embracing my body. I'm sleeping around, and you can't shame me for it because men do it all the time, right? And that mentality leads women to go out every weekend, go to a bar and say, I'll go home with you. No big deal. Fine. No big deal. But for the rest of the women in the world who still want to be taken on a date and treated like a lady and wooed and fawned over and respected, that entire culture, that entire premise has ruined it for all women. And I'm not single, so I can't tell you this for a fact. I've been single for 10 years, but the single women that I know try to get on dating apps and they try to find a good quality man. And the response is always, you want to chill, Netflix and chill? Come over. You want to come over to my house and watch a movie? No, I want you to take me out to a nice dinner, pick me up. I'm going to dress nice, and you're going to treat me right. And no, I'm probably not going to sleep with you on the first date. But no, that because the
but then they can just swipe. Can't they just swipe?
Yes, they can
left?
just move on to the next, or something.
Next
to the next girl that will sleep with me because she's embracing her sexuality. So now we've lost this entire tradition of men respecting women, looking for a good woman, going out there and treating her right and wooing her until he has her attention, he has her love because of the natural God-given roles of men and women. So that's gone.
Yeah, exactly. So going back to what I was reading, what Tammy Bruce was saying, feminism has downplayed the desire for women to have a family, and they've hyped up the rewards of a career and of casual sex.
Oh, okay.
And that's exactly where I was going. So how perfect is that?
Yeah.
Because I have young women. My daughters are young women. And I think I'm so grateful they've got good guys that care for them, love them, and aren't just sleeping together. In fact, they both have made commitments to try their best.
They're going to kill you.
I know, right? But it's like one of those things where we don't talk about abstinence. We don't talk about, we talk about how if a woman gets pregnant, it's up to her. It's her body. It's her choice to get rid of it because, this is just a big what's the word? It's like a big mistake, and it's a big imposition, and now the woman has...
We're not talking about this. Society is talking about this.
But this is the thing. It's hyping up career. It's saying, have casual sex. Okay, have casual sex. But when you get pregnant, you better be able to run and get that abortion right away.
Right. You better not suffer any consequences. You better not take any responsibility. Because the feminist movement also, I saw an article a few weeks ago that basically went on and on and on about, guess how a woman gets pregnant? A man. She needs a man to get her pregnant. She doesn't magically become pregnant. So a woman having sex with a man, no matter what happens with her body, it's his fault. They're man-shaming men for getting women pregnant. And it's like, she also could have not had sex, right? Because she knows, we know that our bodies make babies and we know how they're made. So we can choose to make sure that that's not going to happen. We can refrain. We can use the proper measures. But in a feminist culture, to not only go back to doing what they're doing, which is taking that entire miracle and saying it's horrible, it's a burden and not a blessing, but then to take it and say it's men's fault, no matter what, no matter how it happens, it's a man's fault.
Yeah. And if it happens, I've been saying in third person, if it happens to you, well, then everybody needs to support your race to Planned Parenthood to eliminate this as fast as possible with no judgment, like you said, no consequence. Yep. When I know as a Christian life coach, there are consequences. There are emotional, spiritual, physical consequences. Whether you want to talk about it or not, there is absolute consequence to having this, but this is the culture. This is go to school, become a man, don't have a baby, don't get married. Oh, live with them first, try out, test drive the car. This is supposed to be women empowerment. And what I see it doing is eroding the self-esteem of women. They're online. You can literally on Instagram put in sexy chicks and there's 1 million that'll come all day long. And these women are feeling compared to this on one side. Okay. This is actually going to be part of our next show. So we're kind of segueing. But this is the idea, is we're supposed to be overly sexual. We're supposed to not care that we're having sex. We're not supposed to not care about a baby. We're supposed to not care about marriage. We're supposed to only care that we're making as much money as men, we're as strong as men, we're as powerful as men, we position like men. Basically, what feminism is doing is saying, don't be a woman.
Okay, and...
Isn't that what they're saying?
Yeah,
just
and by
don't
the way,
be a woman.
And men can be women too. You don't be a woman, but please let men be women. And yeah, but another thing that you just touched on was when feminism dictates that your value is placed on casual sex, looking the way you look, and social media is helping to cater to this too. You're working towards an unachievable goal to be the most attractive person in the world, the most available female in the world, the female that every guy wants to sleep with. Like, there's always going to be skinnier, prettier, more makeup, better makeup, nicer clothes, longer legs. It's unachievable to look for your worth in being the guy that you want every guy to swipe right on you or whatever it is. There's no joy in that, and that's an unattainable goal. Our goal, feminist goal, should be empowering women to be comfortable in their identity, and that means every woman's identity. Your choice to be a stay-at-home mom, your choice to be a mom, and love that blessing and embrace it, And feminism is really just embracing those that agree with them. I want to cut my hair, dye it purple, be lazy and sloppy, and I want men to love me for that.
Yeah, and if you don't, you're an oppressor.
You're a bigot.
You're an oppressor.
Yes.
You know, isn't it funny how many times just in this conversation I feel like we've contradicted ourselves because there's so much contradiction in it. It's really one of those things where if I could get a hold of a young woman, any young woman, I would say, God designed you as a woman, to be a complement to a man. And there's so much beauty in motherhood. There's so much beauty in a strong partnership and a strong marriage that didn't start off with a swipe left. Okay? And it's like there's so much. This is the deal, guys. If we go back to God's word and we obey and we see his design, we can't help but fall in line with truth. And the truth, again, sets us free from all this chaos. It just sets us free from all this chaos and all these lies about what women should and should not be. We know at our core what we should be.
It's in the Bible.
God bless you all.
God bless the USA.
And we'll talk to you next time. Catch us next Saturday, 1:30 p.m.
It's Dylan's KC Barbecue at 4 Valley locations. Our sports bar in Arrowhead is packed with TVs for the ultimate sports fan. Our Wildlife World Zoo location will have you on the edge of your seat, dining right next to our 60,000-gallon shark tank. Dylan's Bayou at Pleasant Harbor has never-ending sunsets, beautiful people, and live music every weekend. And our newest location, Western Trails Ranch, is 12 acres of rodeo fun and live outdoor concerts for the entire family. It's Dylan's KC Barbecue, where we're elite, unique, and memorable.